This is Nuzlocke Survivor Unova. It's an ORG where a bunch of people play a game of Survivor in a Discord server, and also play through a Nuzlocke of a Pokemon game. You still have your tribes, your reward and immunity challenges, as well as the tribal councils alongside the alliances that control how tribal council plays out. But you also have a standard Nuzlocke to play alongside this game of Survivor, featuring modified lore sets and encounters, as well as harder boss battles, and a tiny bit of PK hex. Throw in a couple of optional Nuzlocke rules for potential rewards, as well as the choose your own adventure search system, and this is anything but a standard Nuzlocke. It's more Survivor than Nuzlocke now that I think about it. 39 days, 18 people, 1 survivor. The sign-up's open, and oh my god, that's a lot of people signing up. This season's only big enough for 18 people, so unfortunately a lot of them will end up not making the final cut. Now that the dust has been settled, here are our 3 tribes. On the Otgaye tribe, we have Porpoise, Cornybot, Unprocessed Entity, Allosaurus, Shup, and Yumesuki. On the Quilata tribe, we have Zero Anonymous, Burning, Dag, Golden Glow, Jade Saphira, and Leon Yoranaki. On the Esto tribe, we have Hay Fever, Sir, Derogatory Trainer, Sparkle Pop, Glace, and Marissa Squiggy Larsolin. The first couple of challenges are pretty mundane, a reading quiz and a Seagear skin challenge. Did you know that you could create custom Seagear skins and add them into your game? Huh, what's that in the basement?
I've even seen one of those duck things that are super weird. Sometimes they had shadows over them. Why hello there, youngster. You're not from around here. It's amazing that you're in a basement. What am I doing in a basement, you ask? Why, that's quite simple. I'm traveling. I've traveled all over the world. Name a place I've been there.
You may also get a piece of paper that constantly gives her useful information. Welcome to the Brains vs. Brawn vs. Balance challenge. This one gets pretty convoluted, so hopefully the Google Doc in the description does a good job at explaining this challenge. Each tribe splits up into pairs to work on either the Brains, Brawn, or Balance part of the challenge. Brain players play a game of keep talking and nobody explodes, but with Wonder Guard electrodes, a pincer with some funny moves, and a pair of weird manuals. Brawn players do round-robin double battles with members of the other tribes. Balance players do a couple of rounds of Wordle and then do round-robin single battles. The twist is that they also get a level advantage depending on how well they did on Wordle compared to the other tribes. Funny enough, the results from Brains and Brawn balance out, so all 3 tribes have an even score. It's the Balance challenge that determines who goes to Tribal Council. Each tribe won and lost a battle in Balance, but then not only won his Balance match 2-0, which means that Quilata goes to Tribal Council. Otgaye is mostly led by 2 girls, 1 shop. Look, they were the ones who named the alliance that, okay? I had nothing to do with this. Esto has Sir making friends with some people. Also, for some reason, Derogatory has no alliances with anyone. This is just a pentagram. Welcome to the first tribal council of the season. Who's gonna get voted out? I think it's time I confront the elephant in the room. And that's Golden Glow. How come you didn't respond to my DMs, man? I forgot. It's the one person that's not a part of the pentagram. Additionally, the other 2 tribes have to vote for one of their trimates to get sent to exile, but they don't know that they're gonna get exiled. Otgaye and Esto send Shup and Derogatory respectively to get exiled into the Dream World. You know, that website where you get to play minigames and get Pokemon with their hidden abilities? Let's take a look at what the 2 of them are up to right now. Our next challenge is a game of categories. You're given a bunch of categories as well as a letter. You then have to name things that fit each category that also start with your given letter. Generally, it's hard to perform under stress, so you end up with some silly answers. Our next immunity challenge is team sharing. Everyone checked in 6 mons to use on Showdown. Unfortunately, you're only allowed to battle with 3 of your own mons. The rest of your team has to come from your fellow tribe mates. For some reason, Shup decided to sandbag for this challenge and bring whatever this team is. It sucks since Yume knew what the challenge was gonna be and didn't tell anyone on her tribe. Yume, not now! There's a whopping 15 battles that took place over the course of 72 hours. I can't cover all of them, so let's just skip to the results again. Quilata wins most of their battles. Otgaye breaks even with a 5-5 record, which leaves Esto in last place, and therefore they get sent to Tribal Council. Breaking news! Derogatory Trainer has finally made alliances with people. Anyways, Esto tribe decides to vote out Sparkle Pop because she has a lot of deaths in her run already, and the whole tribe is concerned that she'll end up medevacing. Derogatory also reveals that he stole the idol in the Nakreen Museum, and that he's now a wanted convict in the Unova region. I might have made that last part up. The next challenge is simple. Defeat all 13 trainers in Pinwheel Forest as fast as you can. The tribe with the worst overall time for the challenge goes to Tribal Council. Yep, we have 2 immunity challenges in a row. Some people are absolute god gamers. and other people didn't know that limit frame rate was a thing, which really messes up their time for the gauntlet. We have 2 players who didn't get that memo and have heavily inflated times because of this. However, Ellie didn't do well on the gauntlet, and her time basically means that Ogaye gets sent to Tribal Council. It's a good thing that Qualada didn't go to TC a second time, because being on that tribe is absolute hell on earth. Oh, what's this? Qualada and Nesto have to vote for one of their players again? TLDR, Dag gets voted by Qualada as their tribe sacrifice. Meanwhile, a Nesto tribe.
Mirror after his glow up and still recognize himself, if that makes sense. So with all that out of the way, let's get started.
Can I get one of those like, comment, subscribe things as well? Oh yeah, Ogaye are the ones who are actually going to Tribal Council. They decided to vote for Yume since she hasn't really been talking to anyone, and there's still the point about her not telling the tribe to not check in a bunch of weak mons for the previous immunity challenge. Oh, and Nesto's exile vote was tied between Hayfever and Squiggy, so Carlbot decides that it goes to Squiggy.
Sudden death!
The mods aren't done with Tribal Council just yet. Everyone is here, and the 2 exile votes aren't actually getting sent to exile. Instead, they get to draft new tribes. Dag and Squiggy are drafting new tribes. Kyurem duplicates itself to fuse with the other 2 dragons in order to create Ogaye 2 and Qualada 2. Unfortunately, Squiggy is asleep right now because of time zones, so this is gonna take a while. Here are the new tribes. On Ogaye 2, we have Dag, Corny, Anon, Derogatory, Leon, Porpoise, and Hayfever. On Qualada 2, we have Squiggy, Jade, Ellie, Sir, Shup, Glace, and Burning.
I keep having this nagging feeling that I've forgotten something.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Yeah, I guess.
Entity gets exiled to Liberty Island. You know, the place where you can find Victini. The first thing that our brand new Ogaye and Qualada tribes do is explore the famous Castelia city. Let's see. Glace and Corny managed to get a year's supply of croissants. Sir found Bob Ross, who offered to draw an emote for him. As the residential Rotom fan, Sir's emote was, of course, a Rotom fan. One of the mods caught Dag and Derogatory holding hands in the art museum. Oh, and this brand new shop called the Battle Company opened up where you can buy cool things, such as evolution items, a couple of okay held items, some cosmetic stuff to make your mod stronger. Oh, and rare candies. Yeah, we don't quite do that infinite rare candy thing here, but this is an option for you candy addicts. The first challenge for our brand new tribes is a logic puzzle on Sporcle. This one is based off of the Elite Fours and Champion only up to Black and White. You get 1 attempt to solve the puzzle, and you can't pause the timer without being accused of cheating. I'm not showing any footage of the real puzzle here, so you can try it out for yourself. Another link in the description. Oh wow, that was an absolute blowout. New Qualada tribe, new alliance politics to follow. I hope this isn't a pentagram like last time. Technically, everyone on this tribe is allied with each other, but here are the alliance groups that actually matter. Corny is stuck on Ogaye 2, which means that there's only one girl, one shop. Sora and Glace are allies after working together on Brains to form Team Cinderace. How do you get Cinderace from a Rotom and Glaceon? Burning and Jade are kind of forced to be together since they're the only Qualadas who still ended up on Qualada 2. Oh, and they adopted Squiggy to join their group to form Team BJs. For once, we don't have a unanimous vote. In a surprising turn of events, the Tribal Council vote is between either Glace and Jade. 3 votes Glace, 3 votes Jade, 1 vote left. 4th person voted out of Nuzlocke survivor Unova. Jade. Wait a minute, where is Jade? Oh, she's still asleep. I'm not gonna wake up Jade just to send her into the bonfire, that would be rude.
I'm back, bitches!
Nobody knows this, but Entity fought a Victini and received a new passive ability, the Victory Star Advantage. You receive a small advantage for every single challenge for the rest of the game. We've had 3 back-to-back immunity challenges in a row. Let's keep things simple and have a reward challenge for once. I don't know how production was able to do this, but they managed to get Kesha to show up for this episode of Nuzvivor. She's actually just driving around in a car. Oh right, the reward challenge. Get in the car, nerds, you're answering some trivia questions. The more questions you answer, the more money you earn. Is that Snoop Dogg? How much money did production spend just to make this episode happen? Okay, no more celebrities for now. Back to serious business. Each tribe picks one person to serve as their pilot for this fight. The remaining 6 players then have to pick one of their own mods for their pilot to battle with. I didn't bring this up earlier, but there were additional Nuzlocke rules that players could add to the run to make it slightly harder. There's a benefit to adding one of these rules to your run, but the one that's relevant here is set mode. In this immunity challenge, whichever mon they bring gains 4 levels on Showdown, or if the pilot is using their set mode advantage here, they get to add 1 level to 4 mons on their team. Burning, Glace, and Squiggy all use their set mode advantages right here. Dag does as well, but he's on a different tribe. Hey, wait a minute, where's Shup and Porpoise? Apparently, they're stuck in a prisoner's dilemma in Anvil Town. Yeah, that sure looks like a prisoner, alright. Let's take a look at our two fighters. In the blue corner, we have Burning, who's the Residential Draft League Fiends. In the red corner, we have Anon, who is the closest thing we have to a lawyer this season.
Get ready for the fight of your life. Fight it out.
Both players lead off with the Hariyama handshake until Anon sends in Fortress to set up a couple layers of spikes. Burning takes this opportunity to set up a bulk up with Conkelder, and then takes first blood. Anon strikes back with an Archon revenge kill, which prompts Burning to send in an Electivire. 9-Volt demands more bloodshed, and if it's not going to kill the Archon, then it'll gladly take the kill onto Fortress. Violet Plume hardwalls Electivire, so Chansey comes in to hardwall the Violet Plume in return. This calls in Anon's Conkelder, looking to take out the egg. Burning switches in Gengar to block the Brick Break, but what's this? A surprise payback from Conk on the switch? And just like that, Gengar is down! Electivire takes a second kill, and Anon's response is... Archon? Despite the 4-level advantage, Electivire is actually slower than Archon and cannot take this kill. Steelix and Snorlax come in, and here's the worst part for Burning. This Snorlax has leftovers and stockpile. At this point, Burning is unable to break through Anon's defensive core of Snorlax and Vileplume, which results in a 2-0 victory for Anon and Outgaia tribe. Even though Burning is really good at challenges and is probably the best battler out of everyone here this season, Quillada tribe decided to vote him out anyways. Hey look, a place where not only can you buy cool items, but it also makes sense to get stuff here as well. Players can buy really cool items here, such as good held items, good TMs, and a bunch of other things that make your mon stronger.
I'm a heartbreaker. My name, Naz Reed.
You can fight him in a triple battle, and wow, did a lot of people lose to him. Ooh, the next immunity challenge is Codenames. I love Codenames! Both tribes split up into 3 pairs who will then go up against each other in Codenames. It's a best of 3 and Quillada really need a win, since they have not won a single time. Here are the matchups. We're starting off with Entity's Victory Star, giving him the choice to go first or second. He decides to go first. You know, sometimes in Codenames, you end up making mistakes. But it's okay as long as your opponent also makes mistakes. You might end up playing too cautiously, despite being given more words that fit your clue. Oh shit, Entity found a loophole and sent in Ho2 for Sacred Fire. And sometimes your operator guesses some wacky words based off your hints. Should have chosen your hints better, Derogatory. Shup starts by guessing actor and musical from Performer 2, but Anon strikes back even harder with Insect, Studio, and Model from Berg 3. Thur sends in Sushi 2 hoping to hit the obvious restaurants. Apparently the other idea from Sushi 2 was rotation from one of those conveyor belt restaurants that send in sushi. Shup hits Legend thinking about Chiyu and gives Outgaia points. With Quillada immediately down by so much compared to Outgaia, they do not have the momentum to keep up, giving Outgaia the rounds. Unless... Corny gives Anon Illuminate 2, hoping that Anon will remember the lighthouse on Liberty Island. He doesn't see the lighthouse. Sur's level 3 is finally ready, and he hits him with the Cloud 3. Genie, Gray, Season!
Air combo!
Progression 2 is the word for red team. Anon goes for justice, and it is served! For the blue team!
Danger!
Sir, what are you doing? You don't have enough turns to spare for badge 0! Anon goes for the rock as he gets the from...
Power, we stay hungry, we devour.
Ideals is a neutral word. Silent 2. It cannot be Trio. Striaton. Now see, there's one last thing I haven't shown you about the ROM. Silent is a triple battle. Rotation is close enough.
Hyper combo KO!
All 3 rounds have to be played out, so let's see what the final group is up to. Did Hay Fever just drop in with the Fantasy 4 with Dragon as the kill word? Leon eventually hits Dragon and gets obliterated by Exodia. For committing a heinous crime such as that, Outgaia all agree to send Hay Fever to the guillotine for revenge. I'm not showing their avatar getting comically cut in half. That's also messed up. Wait a minute. Corny? How did she end up on the chopping block? Well, of course, Hay Fever was the obvious vote for everyone. But hey, you can always talk about future strategy down the line. Team Overwatch League decided that they can't just let 5 OG Outgaia members make it to the merge. However, they can't seem to get a vote going towards Porpoise or Corny, which leaves Leon with one last idea. The Fantasy Gambits. Step 1. Give Hay Fever your immunity idol. You don't want to be caught using your own idol to save someone else. Step 2. Aim your sight on a target. Courtney is going to be really hard to take down if she makes it to the merge, since she gets along with a lot of people and is already allied with Shup and Ellie. Step 3. Vote for Hay Fever. This vote has to appear unanimous, otherwise you run the risk of giving yourself away. Step 4. Bucket we ball! Nuzscriblio! You don't need to add the Nuz prefix. It's just Scriblio, but Pokemon themed. Let's see. We have a 7. Is that a bicycle? A Squirtle? Derogatory threw his bike off a cliff. That's stupid. Okay, what do we have here next? Okay, that's a dolphin. Is that supposed to be porpoise? We have 6 circles. That's just a guy in a hat. Hey, wait. Letters aren't allowed on Scriblio. Porpoise wipe to N? We're currently approaching the 6th gym in-game, and yet we still only have 2 tribes. When will the merge finally happen? Not here. First, we have the Earburst Immunity Challenge. Your tribe is given an entire medley of Pokemon songs, mashed up into 15 minutes of content. You have 8 minutes to get as many of the references as you can. So basically, it's a Seaver Gunner mashup. You might have not noticed this back in Driftvale, but Shup's Arcanine found a CD that plays Oak's battle theme from Let's Go. Now hold on, that song doesn't exist. Yeah, but that won't stop Shup from guessing that song in Earburst. After listening to a cacophony of noise for 8 minutes straight, everyone else basically felt like shit. Except for Squiggy. She was vibing to, Slithering Trains from Pokemon Rumble U. Squiggy gets immunity, and so does the rest of Quillada Tribe. So that Scriblio challenge I glossed over. The reward for that challenge was 101 berries for Ogae Tribe. Unfortunately, Porpoise ate all of the berries. I don't know what else to add to this. They vote out Porpoise, and I'm playing the trolley problem again. At this point in real time, 42 days have passed. It's time for the 2 Kyurem tribes to merge into a Genesects. Going in, we have 2 main factions emerging from our former tribes. Quillada has Team Segs, which consists of Sir, Ellie, Glace, and Shup. They proved to be the dominant faction versus Team BJ's, as Burning and Jade were the ones who got voted out from Quillada 2. Ogae has the newly formed Swords of Justice of Leon, Anon, and the newly adopted Derogatory and Hay Fever. After Hay Fever's incredible play to save themselves while also getting Corny voted out, Leon and Anon decided to ally with Hay and brought along Derogatory with them, I suppose. Squiggy's been on the wrong side of history so far, with Jade and Burning both getting voted out from Quillada 2. Hopefully her alliance with Shup will keep her in the game, as well as her returning alliances with her former Esto tribe mates. Entity. He has the Victory Star advantage. And then there's Dag, the wild animal backed against the wall. His old allies are gone. His original tribe mates against him. Especially so since he tried to get Hay Fever voted out again, and that backfired on him horribly, as Porpoise went out instead. New alliances are formed now that everyone is here. Who knows what will happen next? It's auction time, baby! Everyone gets paid with imaginary money to bid on a bunch of items in this auction. Such items include some boring shit, dinner with Jay-Z, Fire Emblem Heroes, a fucking antidotes, a stink bomb that changes a person's nickname, another emote by Bob Ross, and some secret stuff. Anon gets the ability patch, Leon gets dinner with Jay-Z, who turns out to be every single mod in a trench coat, Hay Fever gets an item bag, Glaze gets a bunch of eggs, Derogatory gets Fire Emblem Heroes as well as an antidote, Sir gets a shiny pass, Ellie gets an emote by Bob Ross, and no one bought the stink bomb on round 1. Oh look, secret stuff. Our first secret item is Daily Mod Squad advice for Leon. It's like having Jay-Z show up at your lunch break every day. Next we have Brody's skin for Derogatory. Okay, that was disturbing. What's behind door number 3? It's either a Loot Crate sponsorship or a secret shop of goodies. Anon takes the secret shop. Door number 4. Derogatory gets to become an assistant. As an assistant myself, I get to peel back the curtain on what happens behind these closed doors. Here, we get to help out the mods with various tasks such as feeding the Crawlbot, playtesting future challenges and boss fights, overthrowing governments, reading bedtime stories to the mods. Why did you eat a lawyer? What the heck? But in all seriousness, you're supposed to find this dude named Zinzalin hidden in the assistant chat who gives you a clue to an immunity idol. Secret item number 5. An exile ticket for Shup. You can send 2 people either to White Forest or Brazil. The next item is a wide lens advantage for Sir. Our 7th item for sale is a gym leader cheat sheet for Entity. Interestingly enough, the Elite Four also has some version exclusive teams. The final secret item for sale is Cash Cash Cash, provided by Crash Crash Crash. She has a tradition of making actual buffs for Nuzviver, and is giving Leon money so he can make his own buff for himself. Hey, we still have to give out the stink bomb. So Dag and Squiggy weren't able to get anything from the auction so far, because they spread their money too thinly across the hidden items. They spend all of the remaining V-Bucks on the stink bomb, and RNG decides that it goes to Squiggy.
Think fast, Chuckle Nuts!
Oh, we live in the universe where Dag gets the stink bomb. Look, I just wanted to make the meme, okay? You know what's funny? Derogatory doesn't read through the assistant chat and misses the hint about Zinzalin, and yet he almost gets the hidden immunity idol, only to get distracted by a money machine. And you know what's even funnier? Entity finds the idol on accident. Nuzviverwang.
Hey yo, what the fuck?
It's more Pokemon trivia questions, but every single answer is a number. It's okay if you don't guess the exact answer, since you get more points for being the closest one to the correct answer. Such questions include, what is Missing Nose catch rate? How many berries and apricorn trees are there in GSC? How much damage does a 0 special attack Clefable Moonblast do to a Mega Pinsir with no bulk investment? You know, easy stuff that anyone at home can guess. Leon carried his tribe in the cash cab from way back, and so he's also able to get individual immunity here. There's only one tribe now, so only one person is able to get immunity. So with a tribe of 11 players, it's pretty hard to end up with a majority vote, since everyone has their own agendas at this point onward. But Quilata 2 noticed that the Swords of Justice aren't really vouching to try and keep Dag alive. Dag tries to get Glace voted out as one of the 5 Esto players that made it to the merge, but the Swords of Justice don't really feel like going for that vote. They do note that at some point, they need to go after someone from Quilata 2, and their main target is either Glace or Squiggy. On his way out, Dag throws a stink bomb at Leon and turns him into a super nerd. Kids these days don't know how to use a name-changing bomb.
Back in my day, we used to turn Zorwas into greasy Vegetas.
Gym Leader Chicken. This is the coolest in-game challenge. Pun not intended. The idea is simple. Defeat Bryson, with as little HP remaining on all of your mons. You don't want things to die to Bryson though, since 1, Pokemon dying in a Nuzlocke is not a good thing, and 2, dead Pokemon will count as if they have 75 HP instead of 0 for your total score. It's a game of chicken. How long can you go before you end up passing out? There's a lot of things to point out. 1. Your team has to be at full HP before starting the fight. No pre-damage or pre-status cheese allowed here. 2. You can bring low-leveled mons onto your team. You want to have as little HP remaining on your team after defeating Bryson, and what better way to start than to bring mons that already don't have a lot of HP to begin with. 3. Players have been anticipating this challenge ever since the beginning of the season. Some players saw visions of frozen chicken nuggets through the search system. Others even learned about Bryson's team well in advance. Oh, and Entity just revealed Bryson's entire team with movesets, items, and abilities to Quilata 2. 4. Players were randomly put into 2 groups for this challenge. So instead of competing with 9 other players on the merged tribe for immunity, you're competing with just the 4 other players in your group. This means that 2 people get immunity for this challenge. 5. However, there is incentive to do well on this challenge. If your group does better in Gym Leader Chicken, then everyone in your group gets one of 3 rewards: a deluxe egg, a revived totem, or the most egregious use of PK Hex imaginable. Wait a minute, where did Anon go? Oh, he's just gone. Apparently he did Gym Leader Chicken on the wrong ROM, and only realized that until after beating Bryson. Huh. We've never had a player leave the server while they're still competing. I guess this means that they're automatically voted out now. Wait. Entity, you wiped Bryson? But you have the team sheet. You knew what his entire team was. You even brought a low-leveled Pansear on your team to help with your score. Heck, the Victory Star allowed you to pre-damage one of your mons. How did you wipe Bryson despite everything already working in your favor for this challenge? Is this? Oh my gosh, wiping to a gym leader is a canon event in every season. Okay, after witnessing people fuck up Gym Leader Chicken horribly, let's see what a real winner looks like. You just saw Shup's run of Gym Leader Chicken, and you can see that he did really well on this challenge. Derogatory, what the actual fuck? Yeah, so he had 5 mons that knew Endure. The dream team of Shup and Derogatory win immunity. Also, Group A wins the goodies since they did not have a player who DQ'd, a player who wiped to Bryson, or a player who did not even try to play Gym Leader Chicken, despite them being on the hot seat for Tribal Council. So now that Anon is gone, I don't know if this means that there's still going to be a Tribal Council. Oh cool, you're back. Now that Tribal Council is back on the table, the vote is between either Glace or Squiggy. Dag did point out that 5 Esto players made it to the merge, and one of them is finally getting voted out now. Glace should be safe here, since they have Team Segs, as well as Hay Fever for voting numbers. However, it's not as simple as that. Let's shift over to a different player, Shup. He knows that Squiggy is in danger here, and has to make a choice. Shup can either stick with Team Segs and vote out Squiggy, or go with his alliance with Squiggy and vote out Glace instead. He gets a DM from Anon.
Hey, we're both the most dangerous players in the game right now. You want to be in an alliance together?
New alliance group just dropped. Team Ass. Anon, Shup, Squiggy. Together, Team Ass get Leon and half of Qualatitude to vote for Glace. This catches Glace off guard since they're the one who gets voted out here. Wow, they voted out the ice person at the checkpoint where they fight the ice gym leader. We start with Shup using his exile ticket to randomly send Hay Fever to White Forest with him. They basically do a bunch of repeat challenges together and get eggs for every challenge that they beat. But that's not the actual challenge for this checkpoint. Touchy subjects. How well do you know your fellow tribe mates? First off, everyone has 20 questions to answer honestly about their fellow tribe mates. The real challenge is trying to figure out the most popular answer to each question. For example, pretend that I'm Hay Fever. Who do you trust with your life? Probably Leon. Yeah, that makes sense. He did save your life back in Note Guy A2. However, you do recognize that Shup is just a widowed guy who would never hurt a fly. You can certainly trust him. You can trust La Criatura. Shup and Hay Fever return from White Forest with some eggs. Hay Fever specifically received a helping hand advantage to help someone out on a challenge. In unrelated news, Derogatory found a gun. Oh no. Here are the correct answers to touchy subjects. Despite being the player who appears to be the least connected, Entity actually wins immunity in touchy subjects. He might appear to be the least active of the castaways, but Entity has definitely kept notes on his fellow tribe mates, as well as who appears to be working with whom.
Welcome back to Tribal Council. You guys just got exposed in touchy subjects. How does that make you feel?
Well, the host is dead. Bring in the backup host.
Welcome back to Tribal Council. So, you guys just got exposed at touchy subjects. How does that make you feel?
Murder is not okay. Derogatory gets sent to prison as his crimes have finally caught up to him. Robbing a museum, assaulting someone with a bike, murder. You know, it's a good thing that we have body doubles of the hosts. It's even an Umbreon, just like our host Brody. Oh, that belonged to Shup. Welcome to Paldea. As you can see, I have kidnapped the mod squad and have sent them to the present day. We have our dark triad of hosts, and Eevee, Crasher Lake, and Shup, because he was a former host. This challenge is a standard tournament where everyone battles in Gen 9. Terastalization is on the table, as well as one Terrablast TM to use for your team. Additionally, due to some changes in the ROM, some Pokemon are actually usable within the level 50 cap for this challenge, since they now evolve much earlier. Key Mons include Tyranitar and Volcarona. You know, the Mon who was recently sent to Ubers. Both contestants share half of their team with each other, as well as a ground type and a water type. However, Leon's ability to get Stealth Rocks up early pays off, as his Ludicolo is able to clean through the rest of Squeaky's team and win immunity. This is crucial for Leon, since he and Anon burn bridges with each other about how to deal with Shup. Should they work with him, or try and get him voted out? Shup realizes that as the most dangerous player in the game, that there are definitely people out there who want him voted out. You have two advantages, Shup. Which one will you use? Imprison, or your idol? We're breaking out the Taco Bell. Shup uses Imprison to block Ellie and Entity's votes onto himself. He parries Ellie's votes, but he doesn't parry Entity's votes. And since Imprison only works if you predict both votes carefully, Ellie and Entity's votes stick. And Shup gets voted out instead of Sir. Pokemon Picross. That's the next immunity challenge. Yeah, production spent so much money getting celebrity cameos for the cash cab that they had to cut spending elsewhere. Squiggy wins immunity here, okay, moving on. Also, this happened in the search. For some reason, the castaways are given a lot of opportunities to lick stuff that they really shouldn't. Anon figures out that Ellie actually played a big part in getting Shup voted out during the last Tribal Council. He sees Ellie as a potential threat and a strong candidate for Sole Survivor if she makes it to the final 3. Better try and get her voted out now before Ellie gets that chance. Also, for some reason, Anon keeps comparing Ellie to Ema, the previous season's winner. I don't see the resemblance. One of them is obviously a frog, and the other one is a girl who eats lawyers. The vote comes down to Anon, Leon, and Squiggy voting for Ellie, and Ellie, Sir, and Hay Fever voting for Anon in response. Entity is the deciding vote. What will he do? Use his immunity idol on Anon and vote out Ellie, just for safety measures. It's time for our remaining players to get their final gym badge in Opelucid City. Opelucid Cities. There are 2 versions of Opelucid in black and white. This is also the final time that the players get to use the search system, and the mod squad definitely had their fun here. Here's some of the highlights. Hay Fever received an Electivire plush from last season's winner. Sir received 49 rare candies from the Penguin.
KO!
Entity gets an NFT, and a curse from Lake and Moo. The 6th place curse. Anon gets a stink bomb that only works for mods, as well as a red shirt from yours truly. Oh cool, I actually show up in this video. Where did that bomb go?
You're going nowhere. I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of heat time.
You get to fight 24 mons on Showdown. How long can you last in the Endurance Challenge? Many players try using setup sweepers to breeze through the challenge, only to be met with phasing moves, haze, unaware, and status moves. However, one player managed to surpass everyone else not by setup sweeping, but by stalling. Anon manages to stall his way through the endurance battle with his Regenerator Audino and Slowbro duo to eventually die to an Abomasnow. That's actually pretty good. Since the two challenge threats are not immune from this challenge, the vote is between either Leon and Squiggy. And the vote is tied, which means that Sir, Anon, Hay Fever, and Entity have to re-vote between either Leon and Squiggy. On one side, it's Sir and Hay voting for Squiggy, while Anon and Entity are voting for Leon. Wait a minute, Anon voting for Leon? His closest ally all the way from the good old days of Kulata 1? Yep! This married couple decided that it's time for a divorce, and as you can see, this is a rough one. Sir, Hay, and Anon's votes were based on who they each felt was the biggest challenge threat. In terms of challenge results, Leon and Squiggy were about even, which is when Anon decided to make a spreadsheet. What the fuck? Also, where's Entity? Oh, he's asleep. Yeah, these tribal councils are not friendly to anyone living in the Eastern Hemisphere, and there's a surprising amount of people in this game who live on that side of the world. Spreadsheets are for nerds. Anon brings out another reason why Sir and Hay should flip their vote. The rocks. There's a whole procedure that takes place in the event of a tied vote. A revote, a deadlock discussion, and finally, the rocks. If the tribal council vote is still tied after a revote and an open discussion between the players who are not tied, then the vote comes down to rocks. The tied players are now immune, and everyone else now has to randomly pick a rock. One of these rocks is a Glamora who kills the player who picks it. There would be a 1 in 4 chance that you get voted out if the revote comes down to rocks. Psych, it's a 1 in 3 chance since Anon has immunity. Do you want to take that chance? Entity doesn't give a fuck. He's still gonna vote for Squiggy. Sir flips his vote. And with that, Leon gets voted out and Anon takes custody of the kids. I don't know who the kids are in this example. The remaining castaways have voted out 6 members onto the jury. But how well do they know the people that they voted out? Our jury of 6 just finished working on a Q&A, and everyone else has to figure out who answered what to each question. For example, what do you do in your free time? Hay Fever finally uses Helping Hand on Sir to give him 3 random answers to any 2 questions of his choice. And thanks to the Helping Hand, Sir gets individual immunity for the first time. Oh yeah, here are the answers to the rest of the questions. Okay everyone, you have this one chance to vote out the other player who's likely to win the final immunity challenge now that Sir has immunity right now. Is it A, Anon, B, Entity, C, Squiggy, or D, Hay Fever? If you guess C, incorrect. Entity gets voted out. Why am I the one doing this bit? Shouldn't Brody be here instead of me? After all, he is a host.
Who the heck turned me into a bird?
You know how there's a break in between the Elite Four and the showdown at Ends Castle in Black and White? For the first time ever, the Elite Four and Champion are not the final in-game challenge. 4 castaways walk into the Elite Four, but only 3 of them will make it to Ends Castle. What better way to end off this season but with a challenge gauntlet? 4 mini challenges to do, and the player who does the best overall in all these challenges gets immunity and a ticket to the final 3. For this gauntlet, we have another logic puzzle based on the castaways of this season, a bingo board, an Elite Four tournament, and a Rorschach test. We have Anon who is most likely to DQ from a challenge, Hay Fever who has yet to win a single battle on Showdown, Sir who won the previous challenge with a Helping Hand on his side, and Squiggy who, again, is the challenge threat now that Leon is gone. This isn't a trick question like last time. Squiggy handily wins immunity and is automatically locked in for the final tribal council. Anon, Sir, Hay Fever. One of these 3 players will not make it to the final tribal council. Hay Fever is safe here since the remaining players want them to make it to FTC. And since Squiggy is too attached to Anon, this means that the vote is either unanimously going to Sir, or it'll be a tied vote between Sir and Anon. Ultimately, it's up to Hay Fever to decide Sir's fate on whether or not he'll get 4th, or if we'll finally see a tiebreaker challenge. There's no point in trying to go for a tie at Final 4. Hay Fever sticks with Anon and Squiggy, and together they all vote for Sir. Our final 3 is decided. Anon, Squiggy, Hay Fever. Wait, those are the wrong portraits. Close enough.
Step aside.
Out of everyone that's still here, Anon easily had the strongest start, with them immediately allying with Leon to form the strongest pre-merge duo. They were able to control Old Plata before the tribe shuffle, and even though things didn't go quite as expected for Anon when the Hay Fever used their surprise idol, everyone on Gaia 2 still wanted to work with the Overwatch League. Come merge, Anon immediately forms an alliance with his greatest rival Shup, and together they take control of the game. Not even the loss of Shup is enough to slow Anon down, as he then worked with Squiggy to take control of the rest of the merge. However, he's easily burned the most bridges out of everyone that's still here just to make it to the final 3. Will this prove to backfire on him at the final Tribal Council? After losing both members of her alliance group early on, Squiggy was able to work with Shup to stay in the game when the merge finally happened. She was able to survive the close vote between her and Glace, and even after Shup got voted out, Squiggy was able to work together with Anon and eventually Hay Fever to avoid elimination against Leon and Entity. She has the final 3 that she's always dreamed of. But will this be enough to win the jury over and become the sole survivor?
Not giving up.
They're given one immunity idol from an unlikely friend to save themselves, and suddenly they're seen as the villain of the season? Hay Fever started out the merge on the weaker side of things, since the merge was initially controlled by Polata 2. Most of the people that they voted for Tribal Council ended up not getting voted out, but thankfully, their alliances with Sir, Squiggy, Leon, and later Anon solidified their allies' desire to keep them through the end. They were even the deciding vote for the later Tribal Councils, as Entity and Sir wouldn't have gotten voted out without Hay's votes. Hay Fever has played a pretty honest game compared to Anon and Squiggy. But will their honesty be seen to the jury who decided that Hay Fever was the villain of the season? It's finally time to bring back everyone who was voted out of Tribal Council during the merge. Dag, Glace, Derogatory, Shup, Ellie, Leon, Entity, and Sir. They have a lot to say to our final 3, and now is the time to let everything out since their fate is in the jury's hands. Let's start with our first juror, Dag. All he wanted was an explanation from Anon. Why? Why was Dag targeted as the first vote at the merge? Simple. Anon feared Dag to be an absolute shark of a player, which is kind of ironic since everyone on Quilata was a shark. Next up, Glace. They point out how Hay's opening speech is much shorter than Anon and Swiggy's, which might be to Hay's benefit since this doesn't give them an opportunity to get critiqued as much as Anon. Either way, Glace is still on the fence between voting for either Hay or Anon. Derogatory doesn't have as many tough questions for our finalists. He's mainly here for a good time. Him and the finalists mainly recount tales on their own journeys, as well as how funny it was when he shot Shup's Embryon. Speaking of Shup, he's mainly happy that his 2 allies Anon and Squiggy made it to the final 3, though this does make it tough for him to decide on a vote between the 2. He does try his best to help both of them out with questions from the other jurors, since Anon and Squiggy aren't doing so well with the jury that they're facing. Trash enthusiast Ellie. Look, she named herself that, okay? She mainly asks about the finalists' worst moments as a sign of self-reflection, as well as their feelings on her trash can emote. Leon. Easily the most critical of all the jurors. I'd be critical as well if I got 6th place. He also asks everyone to look back on their actions up to this point. Their highs, their lows. Their favorite moments, their worst moments. Entity. Apparently his phone was broken at the time, so no questions from him, but it seems like he's already made up his mind on who gets his votes. Our final juror, Sir. His questions are surprisingly lighthearted despite the fact that the TC votes did not work in his favor during the latter half of the merge. Instead, Sir asked the finalists to make tier list. Wait a minute. 24 hours after the finalists have made their place of the jurors, it's time to vote for our sole survivor. There's also an average-sized voice chat where everyone is allowed inside, and our host Brody tries to read the votes live. I'll go read the jury votes myself. Sir's votes. Hey, this one's an easy vote. They were allies towards the very end, and Sir got nothing out of his alliances with Anon and Squiggy. Entity's votes. Anon. Entity may have not had as much time to work with people throughout the season, but he spent a lot more time working together with Anon than either of the 2 finalists. Leon's vote. Hay. Leon actually revealed to the finalists that he would vote for Hay because he saw Hay's honesty and how true to their heart they played. Ellie's vote. Anon. Ellie thinks that Anon played the best game out of everyone that's still here. Simple as that. Shup's vote. Anon. This one's actually a surprise, since Shup was close allies with Squiggy. But after spending so much time in Ponderosa with his fellow jurors, Shup knew that the jury wouldn't vote for Squiggy, and he decided not to use his vote on an ally who had no chance of winning at that point. Durog's vote. Hay. Another friend for a Derogatory. Not to mention that Durog must kill Zero Anonymous for not reading his Nuzlocke run in years, and not voting for Anon is the perfect way to get rid of this crafty Sith Lord. Glace's vote. Hay. They were initially split on either Anon or Hay Fever, but after reading Leon's closing statement to the finalists, this motivated Gliss to play true to their heart and go with the Hay sweep. 4 votes Hay Fever, 3 votes Anon. Only Dag's vote remains. If it's Hay Fever or Squiggy, then Hay wins the title of Sole Survivor. However, if it's Anon, then the vote is tied, which means that the vote now goes to Squiggy to decide who wins the title of Sole Survivor. The moment of truth. Dag's vote. And with that, Hay Fever is crowned as our winner of Nuzlocke Survivor Unova. They get to join the Hall of Fame alongside Neefly Cheese, Zealous Wylus, Wildy, and Ema. Yeah, there were 4 other seasons that took place before this one, each with their own Discord server as well. After everything is said and done, the floodgates are finally open to everyone. The jury and Final 3 get to see everyone's confessionals, alliance chats, the 2 side games that the viewers got to play, as well as the dreaded viewer chat. And everyone else got to see the juicy gossip that was being discussed in Ponderosa, where the jurors got to hang out after each of them got voted out. We laughed, we cried, we ran a Survivor Sim focused only on the mods that the castaways caught throughout their Nuzlocke runs, and we all set out to get ready for one last event, the obligatory awards show. Yeah, so the awards show happened while I was still working on this video. Derogatory got a lot of awards for being a funny guy, and Leon got a lot of awards for his outstanding play and divorce antics with Anon. And thus ends another season of Nuzlocke Survivor. I wanted to say thank you to Brody, Zorwa, and Zealous Wylus for hosting this season, Marco and Sil for creating the ROM hack, Ema, Crash, and Shop for their artwork throughout the season, Hobo, Kesha, Brody, and Zorwa for providing extra voice lines, the entirety of the mod squad for keeping the season together for everyone. Seriously, that's a lot of mods. My fellow assistants for playtesting challenges, as well as the ROM hack throughout development, the viewers for watching this wild ride unfold live, and most importantly of all, the castaways who got to play the season. Zero Anonymous, Burning, Sir, Cornybots, Dag, Derogatory Trainer, Elisaurus, Glace, Golden Glow, Hay Fever, Jade Saphira, Leon Yoranaki, Marissa Squiggy Larcelin, Porpoise, Shup, Sparkle Pop, Unprocessed Entity, Yumesugi. You guys all did amazing this season, and I hope you all had a ton of fun playing as well. This was the first season to have an entire cast of new players, which hasn't happened since the very first season back in late 2019. I've been a part of this community for 3 years now, and I can say it's been an honor to also be here to watch another season unfold live. There's also one last segment that I wanted to say, but I just didn't have enough time left to fully put it into words. So yeah, I'm Kirby Spink, and thanks for watching.